Hello, this is Kian from Crypto Boost. Really happy to have you here with me today. It's the 3rd of July 2019 and it's pretty warm here in Switzerland, and it's probably going to get even warmer. We've had the warmest June in ages. I think it's the warmest June in all time, but yeah, to say it's warm, it's underrated. However, if you're in a country where it's even warmer, then my condolences and hope you can pull through. But let's cut to the chase. So we've had quite a wild ride in the last few days with the whole cryptocurrency space, with the prices going down and up again. And yeah, so if you manage to hold on tight, then kudos to you. So let's get started with the global market cap. We had a dip from back in end of June. On the 30th of June, we were around 345 billion market cap, and we dipped down. We had massive break in price onto the lows of the $292 billion market cap, and we managed to get back much of that growth. Now we're at a 322 billion US dollar on the 3rd of July 2019. Now, how the price trend is going to continue is going to be highly related to the fact if we manage to have a lower a higher low and continue to break past the previous price resistance of 345 billion US dollars. So if we manage to break above that resistance, then it's a good sign that we'll continue our growth and maybe see some new highs in the 15-16 US dollar range for BTC. Now, looking at Bitcoin or the whole market, we are now pretty stable back at the 11k range for BTC and the 300 US dollar range for Ethereum. And XRP, which is not really moving that much at the moment, is at the 40 cents range. Litecoin is having a bit of a tough time at 121 US dollars after the massive price increase that it had over the last month. Now with BTC, we had this big dip. People were calling for even lower prices. However, if you manage to get in at the 9,900 US dollar, maybe accumulate a bit of your position, then that's great for you, and you've had 11% increase in gains if you manage to buy the dip. Now, if the price is going to continue, we're going to find out later on, but remember, this is not financial advice, it's everything just my opinion. Now the same with Ethereum, and sorry about this. And yeah, Ethereum, pretty crazy price drop to 279 US dollars and went back up to the 297 US dollar range. Now the thing is, with Ethereum to BTC, the conversion rate is still pretty low for Ethereum. So Ethereum priced in BTC is still incredibly low, which means a lot of upwards potential for the Ethereum to BTC valuation. Now on some maybe more interesting news on talking about the bullish outcome and how maybe this might continue if we're going to see some more highs. Bitcoin surprised the markets and the media alike on July 3rd, jumping over 20% in 24 hours after this massive drop in price. So data from Coin360 put BTC USD firmly in the green. Wednesday followed a turbulent few days, which saw the pair dropped as low as 9,688 US dollar, depending on which exchange you were looking at. Now, there's still a long way to less than zero, as its true value is negative, not zero. Given its toxic externalities, it will go to zero in due time, and that's some FUD that people are pushing towards Bitcoin. And the amount of times that people have said that Bitcoin has died has been countless time. However, it's always come back up stronger than before. So yeah, this is very interesting. So Bitcoin's volatility appears to have returned following a major increase and declines in price over the past week. Now here we've got a nice overview of the daily chart of BTC. And yeah, we've had this big bearish engulfing candle after the incredible price increase that we've had over the last month, which is to be expected, as a bit of a correction is always healthy in the market. Now, here we've had, yeah, there's these lows of around 9,500 US dollar, and this is a very bullish candle. Now we have to see if we manage to break a higher, have a higher high on the next daily candle, on today's and tomorrow's daily candle, and that will be a good confirmation that we might continue this uptrend that we've got, and it won't be the end of this uptrend. Now, traders perhaps were surprised by the speed in which BTC has declined and then recovered. However, if you've been in the market for quite a while, like even before 2017, maybe even 2014, then these volatility occurrences is nothing new in the cryptocurrency market, with BTC having had these volatile moments on numerous occasions, especially also during the 2017 bull run. So now all eyes are on the BTC breakout, which will look to retest the yearly high and potentially reach new yearly highs, and I'm sure everyone is looking forward to that. Now, we've had this 30% pullback, and historically the price says that after such a consolidation followed by an average gain of around 153%. So that would put the price around the 18 to 20,000 US dollar range. So there are great rewards for buying pullbacks in a bull market, and this is a very nice chart showing previous pullbacks and the gains which ensued afterwards. So here you've got 153%, here and 164%. Now, of course, you have to keep in mind that like historical price action is not an indication of future price action. You always have to keep that in mind. But the statistical probability that something like this can happen is probably higher than the opposite. Now, even so, yeah, it's interesting. Now, of course, dollar cost averaging is probably going to come in handy with these things, because you don't know if the price is going to go down or up, but by accumulating at an average price, you're going to be less inclined to sell or to buy just based on if the price is going up, but just with a fixed order amount. I made a video on that. You can find the link down below, which might help your investment. But remember, it's still not investment advice, just my opinion. Now, the reward for buying previously examined how Bitcoin often experienced 30% pullbacks. The average gain after 30% pullback was over around 153%. And here's a tweet from CZ Binance. He likes to troll around a bit. Where you shaking out? So my condolences to people that were scared. Either was people that bought BTC at around 30,000 US dollars and then were scared as the price tanked 30% and maybe sold at the 9,500 US dollar range. So hopefully you had strong hands and managed to stay in the market, stay in the game. So here's also another chart with the 1 day resistance at the 11,760 US dollar range. So very interesting to see if we're gonna manage to break past this resistance, and if we manage to pass that, then it's good. I managed to close above this resistance, and it's a very good sign. Now, talking about a little bit other topics, the United Nations will use blockchain to solve sustainable development in Afghanistan. And I always like articles talking about sustainable development and everything that pushes blockchain adoption. So a recent report is alleging that the United Nations will use blockchain technology to solve sustainable development in Afghanistan. UN will reportedly rely heavily on blockchain for rebuilding urban Afghanistan. Afghanistan has, as you might know, been marred by decades of conflict, essentially since the Soviet Union invaded the country in 1979. However, the UN has now hopes that the nation will be able to successfully be rebuilt. Now, as part of this, the United Nations Office of Communication and Information Technologies is developing blockchain-based government solutions. In fact, the UN arms blockchain-based solutions specifically relate to land records management. So blockchain is an integral part of these plans. Moreover, this coincides with Afghanistan's population shifting increasingly an urban one during the coming 15 years. As such, the nation is in dire need of effective land management, strategic urban planning, and improved municipal finance, governments, and citizen engagement. I think blockchain is very strong in this regard, as blockchain will prevent corruption, will make sure that documents are authentic depending on what kind of blockchain solution you're using. And yeah, it's like, for example, for land management, you can maybe store the ownership of the land to the specific owner on the blockchain and make sure that this is always there and can be verified easily. As in other countries, being able to verify the authenticity of documents has been proven to be pretty difficult. So with blockchain, this will be made a lot easier. Now, this blockchain project aims to accomplish all three aspects, according to the spokesperson for the UN Secretary General Antonio Gutierrez, Stefan Dujarric. Blockchain is integral to these plans. The blockchain solution shall serve as a key tool in the delivery of these fundamental components. Now, whether or not blockchain project will achieve transparent, secure, and systematic online land records management and affiliate services in Afghanistan, the project is nonetheless promising. So I think it all depends on how it gets implemented. So all in all, I think this is very good news, and I'm all for blockchain being used to improve the economic and also the ease of use and transparency and security workings of different governments. I think that's fantastic when governments and are supported in implementing such technologies, because in the end, it's a small farmer, it's everyone that profits from these advancements in not only technological revolution, but also in a financial aspect. As corruption, there's less corruption, and there's also less time wasted for maybe proving authenticity of different documents, as an example. Now on other notes, talking about Kraken CEO, massive inflow of fiat currency coming into crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Litecoin. So that's the forecast. I'm happy about that forecast. Let's see what it's all about. So Kraken CEO Jesse Powell is dismissing the fear, uncertainty, and doubt on whether the stablecoin company Tether is printing USDT to boost the price of Bitcoin. So I think it's good. There's definitely a lot of doubt on the stability of Tether, especially since Tether is also using a lot of Bitcoin and Ether to back their stablecoin, which in my opinion is not the best idea, since Bitcoin and Ether are known to be quite volatile as other cryptocurrency coins in the market. Now, in a new interview with TD Ameritrade Network, Powell says his crypto exchange is seeing a huge amount of fiat currency coming in this year, which correlates to the increasing supply of Tether. So I don't have inside knowledge on what's happening at Tether, but I can tell you that historically, when you've seen growth in the supply of Tether, we've seen growth in the supply of US dollars coming onto Kraken, and other exchanges would report the same. So I think if you're seeing in Tether is just a very transparent reflection of what is happening at the banking system level with all the exchanges. So with a lot more US dollar coming into the market, I think that's fantastic, very good news, and maybe just a sign that tides are shifting and even more money is going to be coming into the market as more people are realizing that that their wealth, which normally maybe they would be putting into gold, silver, or other traditional assets, they're going to realize maybe to hedge against the financial crisis, they might realize, oh, there's this new very liquid asset which is trustworthy, there's only a limited supply of it, and they can hedge against a maybe upcoming financial crisis. So the more people, even wealthy people, that realize that cryptocurrency is a valid asset to hedge against a financial crisis, I think even more funds will come into the market. Now, here again, talking about, I think Tether is actually a small part of the total fiat supply among all of the exchanges. So I don't think Tether alone is doing it. So his opinion is that the growth in the market is not pushed by an increase in Tether, but mostly because of new US dollar, new fiat coming into the market through exchanges. So here we've already talked about the price. Now, yeah, here's mostly support and resistances. We've already seen that before, but basically the gist of the article is that he's talking about the massive inflow of fiat and an amount of users coming onto different exchanges is a very bullish sign. So here you can bet all the exchanges are onboarding 50,000 to 100,000 new users a day. Just think about the amount of people that is. It's just mind blowing. And maybe if you remember at the beginning of 2018, Binance had to struggle with the influx of new users. They had to block registrations from time, Coinbase as well, because the amount of users that were coming onto these exchanges was mind-boggling. And hopefully, at the moment, of course, this is maybe a small number compared to the beginning of 2018, right after the massive increase in the price of Bitcoin and the whole cryptocurrency market. It was driving a lot of users, but now as the trend is shifting a bit, more and more users are going to be coming. Hopefully the exchanges are going to manage to accept this massive wave of new users and be able to provide cryptocurrency services, even if this amount increases by an X-fold. But it's very good news. So that was it for today. Very positive news. I'm happy about that, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great one and see you soon. Bye bye.